show has always been searching for the truth. We owe it to you. It's our single and only sacred obligation. And we've been asking questions that sometimes get us in trouble and the members of Congress in trouble in a very different studio, very different lighting, and a very different timeline. Tim Burchett, back before he was a rock star and booked all over cable news for takes like this, we asked him about the intel committees and about compromise in Congress. And here's what he had to tell us, that you'll be on a trip and you'll be having drinks, and the next morning you'll wake up naked in a hotel room, and then you'll get a little file with all your photos in it.
And I'm sure members of Congress have been caught up. Why in the world would good conservatives vote for crazy stuff like what we've been seeing out of Congress? It's how it works. You're visiting, you're out of the country or out of town, or you're in a motel or a bar in DC, and some whatever you're into, women or men or whatever, comes up and they're very attractive and they're laughing at your jokes and you're buying them a drink. Next thing you know, you're in the motel room with them naked, and next thing you know, you're about to make a key vote, and what happens? Some well-dressed person comes up and whispers in your ear, "Hey man, there's tapes out on you. Were you in a motel room on whatever with whoever?" And then you're like, uh-oh, and said, "You really ought not be voting for this thing."
And that is how it works, ladies and gentlemen. And that's how we found out about Eric Swalwell yesterday. We literally found this out about Eric Swalwell, a video in a hotel room. Here is the video of Eric Swalwell kissing and making out with a sex worker, manhandling her. Who knows what happens next? Apparently this isn't the full video. But yesterday, a woman came forward and said that Eric Swalwell has drugged me and did unspeakable things to me in his hotel room. And now, lo and behold, we have the actual receipt of the hotel room that she said that this happened in. Well, that certainly is a pretty hard piece of evidence. New campaign finance records show Eric Swalwell, his campaign paid for a hotel room matching the exact address and date that her accuser said that she was drugged and sexually assaulted. Woo, okay. Well, Burchett out saying this is how they do it. Now, I don't know if there's any intel op that was run against Eric Swalwell. It seems to be there definitely be one from the Chinese government. But we were right. We were right years ago. And now, lo and behold, the deputy chief of staff, who's one of the most powerful men in all of Washington, is live on Fox News confirming, in fact, that how the Democrat Party controls its members is through blackmail. They have a blackmail file on all of them, and that's how they were able to get Eric Swalwell to do whatever they wanted. Listen to this.
Has the president said anything about Swalwell? I don't know if he said anything. Has he been following that?
Why, has he had a bad week, Jesse? I haven't been watching.
You might be busy with bigger matters of war and peace.
Couldn't have happened to a better person. But look, here's the most important thing, if we have 10 seconds on this, and I'm sure you would agree with this. The most important part about this story, and look, Swalwell is a scumbag. He is a terrible person, the worst of the worst, the lowest of the low, the most dishonest and the most dishonest. But the real story here is how the Democrat Party controls its members through blackmail. It's got a blackmail file on all of its politicians, and it uses them to leverage and control them until it's time to release it. That is how sick and twisted the Democrat Party is. That's the next thread we've got to pull out here, Jesse.
All right, it's a dangerous business. We'll see how it shakes out.
A reminder that everyone who has really nasty and bad relations in the Jeffrey Epstein file is a Democrat megadonor, superdonor. Reid Hoffman, Bill Gates, obviously the Clintons, the entire system, all the way up to Obama's lawyer. They are all in league with Jeffrey Epstein. Every one of them knew exactly what was going on. And this is how you get them, ladies and gentlemen. The Democrat Party works the same as the mafia. They use a blackmail file. Where do you think the Swalwell tape came from? And you got to believe that there's more from where that came from, too. Almost certainly even worse material, a lot worse. It's a real system of control that Democrats employ to control politicians. The Uniparty is a mutual blackmail ring. Vote for America's destruction, or we will release the files, and it all makes sense. Remember, this was, of course, all an op. The Eric Swalwell op went like this. We don't care about anything that Eric Swalwell has done to any woman Doesn't matter to us. This doesn't matter. None of it matters unless he threatens our power. So Eric Swalwell can do whatever he wants unless he's going to be a spoiler for us in the Democrat superstructure state of California. The way a jungle primary works is that Eric Swalwell would probably be one of the two top vote getters. And as the top vote getter, he would then head into a runoff. And if he was tarred and feathered and smeared with all these allegations, then he would lose that seat because Republicans are polling really, really well. Steve Hilton, Chad Bianco, they're polling great. They're always number one or number two in the polling. So it's going to be a Republican versus a Democrat in California. And Eric Swalwell was going to be spell doom and disaster. And so they loosed the file on Eric Swalwell. They didn't care when Eric Swalwell ran for president. Didn't threaten their power. They didn't care when he served 15 years in the House. Didn't threaten their power. They didn't care when he was on the Intel committee after banging a Chinese spy. Didn't threaten their power. They didn't care when he raised money, when he campaigned across the country. None of this stuff mattered to Democrats. Nancy Pelosi, of course, knew about all of this, kept promoting Eric Swalwell, probably because of it. It's the feature, not the bug. He's controllable. Nancy Pelosi snapped and lost her damn mind when asked, like, why didn't you do anything about
That
this?
is absolutely positive. And it's true that they may say that, but it is absolutely not true.
You had no idea.
None whatsoever. None whatsoever. I had none whatsoever.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. It looks like you're really in great shape, Nancy Pelosi. At the end of it, she
Be two Republicans at the top.
she decided to pull one of these faces. The face of evil, man. They allowed for it. They allowed it to happen. Eric Swalwell says that Nancy Pelosi is his mentor, taught him how to wield power, put him in charge. They loved this guy when he was doing good for the party, but then when he was a threat to the party, as soon as that happened, just straight under
of
the bus.
accountability, champion of free and fair elections, and a champion of the American way of life. Eric Swalwell is the son of a police officer.
Shut up. Oh, now Hakeem Jeffries is dead silent on Eric Swalwell. Didn't have nothing. Didn't say nothing. Right? That's how it works. They knew the blackmail file the whole time. They promoted him because of the blackmail file. And he's controllable. And as soon as he gets out of line, boom, you're done. It's what many. Like, subscribe. See ya.